Hi, welcome back to Paris Lash Academy YouTube channel where we talk about everything lashing. Today I am going to talk about the origin of Paris Lash Academy, how it started, how it has been, and where it's going, in the near future. So PLA stands for Paris Lash Academy. We manufactures and actually sells all things lashing. So if you're a lash artist, come to PLA and you find everything that you need. We also is an academy where we give out, scholarship and things for lash artists. We don't teach for profit, but we do have monthly classes and teach you how to do lashes. So people ask me this all the time, and of course, the answer always is the same, which you'll probably find funny, but I started PLA because I'm cheap. I I don't want to pay full price retail for like all of my lash products. So I pay full price retail for years. I mean, I was lashing for about a good like 7, 8 years by the time that I was kind of like, okay, my supplies bills was ridiculous. I remember at that time the adhesive I was using was $65 for a bottles of 10 milliliter. And I had about 6, 7 lash artists working under me at that point, and I'm like, oh my god, I just spent $650 on adhesive and it will last me like 3 weeks. And then the brand of adhesive I was using at that time, I looked at it, I'm like, you know what, I could just contact this company and tell them I'll buy in bulk, and then, and at least I would get them for, wholesale price, kind of. And I contacted them, and they never responded to me ever. And then I contact them again because I was only asking to buy like 10 bottles or 20 bottles. And they finally, I think after like 6 months of very consistent, like, hey, I'm serious, can I, blah, 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 this and that, and, tell them about me and, things like that. They finally go, okay, well, you can place an order, but our minimum quantity order was 500 bottles. And I'm like, oh, God, okay, 500 bottles. Maybe I'll go through that in 2 years. Not my typical purchase where I buy like 10 bottles at a time. But then I did the math and I go, wait, but that would equal I pay 100 bottles, in retail price. So I bit the bullet, bought 500 bottles, and then I'm like, I'm gonna sell them. Before they expire, I'm just gonna sell them to like my friends, to other lash artists in town and whatnot. So yeah, I guess PLA started from there because I didn't want to pay full price retail for everything lashes. Then I start sourcing lash trays and accessory and things like that. And I feel like I'm an entrepreneur at heart because my dad also is an entrepreneur, and I kind of grew up around that. So one day I told my dad, I said, Dad, I think I'm just gonna make a company and, sell lash supplies. My husband think I was crazy, of course, because at that point I was running a salon that had like 30 people works in there. 10 of them was lash artists. I had 2 small children. My day was always so batshit crazy. But my parents are they incredibly supportive. So they told me, they said, Michelle, go for it. I mean, what's the worst it's gonna be? And then I go, well, if I order a bunch of supplies and I try to sell it and it doesn't work, I'll have supply for a year for my salon, So I kind of just jumped up from there, and we started in my parents' garage. We had like 3 buckets of products, and it was in my parents' garage, and I sourced supplies at night, and then daytime we have no marketing team. I did all my marketing team, and if you know me, you laugh because I barely function Facebook. But my dad, he's so supportive. Like, he would learn lashes so he could help me pack orders like daytime. I remember he was like carrying bags, like little Walmart bags, and it had like 3 envelopes in there because we have like 3 orders, and my dad, I think like 3 months into it, the day that he had 40 orders, which is, oh my God, like he had 40 orders. He wrote like the day on it, how many orders on it, and how much we sold total. And it was like one of our fridge magnet. He put it on and then he like put it on there. The best day of, like since we launched a company, and it was like 40, I think it was like 44 orders. And yeah, so PLA kind of grew from there. So now we pack around, I want to say 12 to 1,500 orders every day. But I still remember my dad's very proudly wrote it all in red today and 44 orders. And he like lay it out on the kitchen table and took pictures of it. But it kind of started from there. And then we moved out of the garage and we moved into a smaller way to my brother's first floor of his house. We were there for like a few months, then moved to a smaller locations, and now we are at our 40,000 square foot building. But yeah, because I wanted to save money, short term. But so Paris Lash Academy, if you guys on my personal Facebook, that's an easy peasy. My firstborn, my daughter, her name is Paris. We was actually gonna name her Elsa, and then literally 2 months before her birth, Frozen came out, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. She's not gonna be blonde hair, blue eyes. So one day I went home and I told my husband, I'm like, what about Paris? So we Vietnamese, and we live in a French town in Vietnam. It's actually the only French town in the whole entire country. My dad speaks French, and I kind of grew up listening to him, like, speak a little bit French here and there and sing song and, things like that. And at that time, my parents lived in Asia, and I lived in America sort of by myself with my just my husband, and it's kind of like a way that we tell our parents like, hey, like we miss you guys so much. So we name our daughter Paris, kind of for my dad, pretty much, and it really reminds me of home. But yeah, that's how Paris Lash Academy was born. You also notice that Paris logo is black and pink. To give you a kind of funny story, I hate pink. With a passion, I hate pink. It is my least favorite color ever on this planet Earth. But and then people's like, Michelle, then why pink? I'm like, because when I launched my salon, I had so many things that I have to do, like floor plan, business, signed supplies, like everything. And then I didn't have time to talk about like a logo or whatnot. Like my to-do list was like this long. So I asked my sister, Lana, it's gonna name Paris. So you worry about the color and the design and whatever it is inside. And then I turn around like 2 weeks later and everything was pink. It was horrible. It was not horrible, but it was really pink. And then I'm like, okay, it's a salon, it'll be fine. Because our salon was named Paris. And then we kind of went from Paris Salon to like Paris Lash Academy. And then I just feel like I sink deeper and deeper into this like pink hole where I just can't change it anymore. It really started to grow on me, and we added in like, different shade of pink. And then now you see our henna color, we're having a little bit more purple, and then our lip color is going to be a little bit more like blue. So we're kind of adding a little bit rainbows in there and expanding us a little bit, so I don't feel like I drown in pink every day that I go to work. But yeah, that's kind of where Paris Lash Academy starts from. So there's a lot of things I like about my job, but I would probably say the most favorite thing would probably be product development. So when I was a lash artist, I always see things that I'm like, oh, I wish I had that, or I wish, they had that on the market. And then now that I own Paris Lash Academy, very slowly it slowly dawned on me that, oh, I can create that instead of, oh, I'm going to go look for that, see whoever sells it or source it. Now I do have an options of developing it and see it from like, when it's an idea on a paper where I usually go with Loretta, our consultant on like product development. We usually come up with an idea, or I have an idea, or she has an idea. She'll bring it to me and we'll draw it on a paper and we'll talk about for like a couple weeks, and then we'll start looking for companies that could make us bring that into a real product. Then we go into product testing, and sometimes it fell miserably. It doesn't always go well the first time, and then we're kind of like, okay, well, that hurts, and then we'll just pick back up and fix it. And usually when we launch a product on the market, it may be like, oh, it's an exciting launch. But before that, we usually try it out for like 6 months, or we develop it and then make it in like 6 months before we bring it here. So I think as a CEO of PLA, that's the most favorite part. That's what I enjoy doing the most. I also really got burned out from lashing, so it was a good change of pace for me. And then I would probably say another part of very exciting about this company is, if you look at our company, a majority of our staffs are very, very, very young. So I have some people started when they were 18 years old. And then and even on like our marketing director, she also is, very young. She's in her very early 30. Our warehouse manager also is young. Our customer service manager is young. I know these people since they like in their early 20s. And it's amazing to see them kind of grow with the company and grow into their role. Because, before you go, oh, yeah, we have one person for marketing. Now we have like a whole team of marketing. And it's amazing to see certain people in our company grow and thrive. And I know them in real life, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, but I would probably say that's like the second favorite part of my company, is seeing how I always call them children, grow. So yeah, see them doing amazing in their roles and do so much for this company. So, what keeps me inspired? When I first started, I got into business purely because I was broke and I needed to make more money. And as I share in a lot of my videos and whatnot, when I first got in beauty industry, I was a broke college kid. I was broker than broke. Me and Fang was renting a room inside. Fang's my husband. Inside our friend's house, which was just renting a room, and that was all we could afford. We share one vehicle. Fang was going to college, and then he was waiting tables at night at a restaurant until like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was working, making very little money. Someone I knew make very good money doing lashes, so I start kind of throw myself at it because I wanted us to not live paycheck to paycheck, and then it kind of just slowly grow from there. And then I opened my salon. I would probably say I love having my salon, but I wasn't truly happy at it. I love seeing my clients, but I didn't love seeing a lot of my clients. I don't know what to say. It gets to the point I'm like, okay, I don't really want to do this anymore, though I made really good money at it. So when I started PLA, I kind of discovered a whole new me that I didn't really know exists. I always knew that I'm interested in business, but I never realized the thrill that I have from like finding a new product, developing it, seeing it on the shelf, and actually sending it out, to people. Sometimes I stay up at night and then I like look at my Shopify, look at how many orders we get, this, that, whatnot. Not because I look at the money portion. It helps. It doesn't hurt. But when I looked at it, I pinch myself sometimes because I'm like, I can't believe how great my life is. Coming from a kid who, I came to America when I was 18 years old. We grew up pretty poor. So I was never on a plane before. I never went anywhere before. My very first flight, I was an international student, so I got my visa, and my mom bought me a one-way ticket from Saigon City to America. Didn't speak probably 3 words of English, and she put me on a plane, and I left. And, now think about, I would never let my daughter do that. But, we came from a third world country where all you think about is America, like the land of free, where you're free to do whatever you want to. And you always hear people go, like, if you go to America, you work hard, you make yourself a life. So that's kind of where I was sort of heading. So my very first flight ever on a plane, I flew to America. And yeah, so I kind of just, my parents worked so incredibly hard to give us a good life, and that's my goal when I had my company. I really want to make sure that my parents would have a good life, and they do. They live here with us now. They come here every once in a while. They come here a lot, actually, and we live next door to each other. So my family, giving my family financial freedom really has kept me going the last few years. Now that we have that, I really enjoy giving back to the Lash communities where, we give out classes for free. We do our classes for very cheap, which I sometimes get emails that people are not super happy with me about because they like, you giving that for free and this and that, and it's not good. I get it. I understand. I get it. But also, because I struggled so much when I first joined the beauty industry, I really want to give back to the community that have helped me so much to get here. I have financial freedom, and if I don't want to work now, I don't have to. I actually got offers to sell PLA multiple times within the last probably year and a half, and if I sold it, I would have been sitting on a beach drinking margarita, but I don't want to. I love this company so much, and I hope that it will remain and stay in my family. But after you kind of get financial freedom, now I do what makes me happy. So I love developing products. I'm working on something that's new. We are kind of expanding PLA, not just like an eyelash brand anymore, but we're doing more beauties. We're working more into like nails. We're having like a bunch of stuff that are developing. So my goal is to turn PLA into like your beauty, company, professional beauty company, a company that also gives back to like our communities. Cause I mean, you guys created PLA, you guys built PLA, cause I was a nobody. Like nobody freaking know who I was, and within the last 3 years, my life changed so drastically thanks to our incredible staff, that helped me build PLA, and thanks to our amazing customer who give a mom and pop shop a chance. Because if you saw my inventory and how my company started, you'd be scared. It was like 3 little bucket in my dad's like bench on the garage. But you guys gave me a try, and I'm grateful for that. So, um, if I would have stayed in Asia and not come here, and not, running POA, I would probably be an attorney. So I went to school. I went to a very small high school where most of the children do not live with their parents. They kind of came from all over the country, but it's a very selective high school where schools is free. You go there, but you have to get into the school. So I lived far away from my parents since I was like 14, and I went to that high school. After I got out, after I finished high school, I got into law school, and then I got or not scholarship, but I passed my test to get a visa to come to America. So I came here, and it sucked at first a lot. I remember my very first job. I got my drive license on my cousin's car. My cousin helped me how to learn how to drive a car. He's a brave man, very, very brave. So once I got my drive license, I go, oh shoot, now I need to go buy a car. And my cousin, who's incredibly generous, had co-signed for me. So then because I didn't have any income to buy a car, so I bought like this tiny little car. And then on the same day, I drove my brand new car, not brand new, but I drove my car to this restaurant and asked for a job. To my surprise, I couldn't legally work because I was an international student. I didn't have a social security number. I thought this was a third world country where I'm just like, can I get a job? But it was a Vietnamese restaurant, and they told me like, yeah, if you want to work here, work here. I'll pay you cash, but they pay me, I think for like a 12-hour days of work, they pay me like $62, no break, probably like a 15 minutes lunch break, and they'll pay me $62 an hour, no tips, nothing, and it was horrible. It was horrible, but you know, it really taught me the values of money, and it really taught. I had a horrible boss. She was so mean. And I remember. They were just so mean people, and I didn't know why. I was 18. I never had an actual job before. I lived far away from my parents. I didn't really know much of English, so I just worked in like this Vietnamese restaurant. It really taught me a great lessons of how to be a good boss. You know, like I didn't have lunch break. If it was busy, they yelled at us. We were just but in that whole entire restaurant, everyone were somewhat illegal immigrant or international student where they technically couldn't like legally work. So we got paid like shit. We got treated like shit, and I worked there for like a whole entire year. But that's how I pay my car. That's how I pay for a lot of my textbooks. So look back, I'm grateful that they gave me the job, but it also taught me on, like, hey, if you have money, don't be a douchebag. Yeah. So, PLA in 5 years, I imagine we would carry everything that you have in your beauty salon. So, I want to focus PLA in professional products. So, we would probably not do products to sell it to like your clients, not consumers products, but we're probably gonna do like a whole entire lines for like nails, for everything beauties. That's kind of what I'm hoping PLA in the next 5 years would be. We're also working on a clothing line, lounging clothing line that you've seen some of them in our photo shoots before, for lash artists and things like that. For myself in the next 5 years, I'm hoping to probably, being quite honest, slow down a little bit. Then after like another year or two, my sister, who's my right-hand person, just had her baby. So I'll probably say in about a year or a year and a half, I'm hoping that I'll be able to take some more times off, spend time with my kids. My kids is 5 and 7, thanks to my incredible husband who actually quit his job to, look after our kids and like help me with the company, so I'm able to do what I do. But yeah, I want to take some more times off. I want to spend time with my families. My parents are not getting any younger. My kids are growing up too fast. And as long as the company are doing great, and they're doing great without me, I always worry like, oh my God, I'm sick. I'm not going to be able to come to work today. And I'm saying all these things to my team. And my teams are like, we got it. It's fine. And it's always fine. So I don't know, why am I stressing? They will do fine with me being here 3 or 4 days a week. So after 10 years plus being in the beauty industry, I'd probably say in maybe a year or two, hopefully semi-retire. I'm sure I'll work on something else because I'm bored and I don't know how to sit down and shut up, is what my husband would probably say. But yeah, something a little bit different. This PLA is running incredibly smooth with a marketing director, with my sister, the vice president, with my brother, who actually is the head of IT. We have an incredible HR. We got this. So if I want to, go to Vegas for 3 days, I probably could. I mean, Loretta's coming to visit, so that's what we're planning. I'm like, we are going to Vegas for 2 days. I'm shutting my phone off. It will be fine. I think, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked that. Don't forget to subscribe and like our video for another video coming next week. We try to launch a video every Friday or so. Thanks for watching and have a great day.